Is the next chapter in Dead by Daylight going to be licensed or original? And if it is licensed, what can we expect? Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we're going to be discussing if the new chapter for Dead by Daylight could potentially be licensed. Now, the new chapter hype has essentially started. We're going to be getting the mid-chapter patch soon, and you guys know as soon as we get the mid-chapter patch, before you know it, it is time to get the brand new chapter in Dead by Daylight. This is going to be the first chapter of 2023, and I have a suspicion on if it can be licensed or not. Before we go ahead and jump on into everything, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to today's sponsor, and that sponsor is Opera GX. Opera GX is a special version of the Opera browser built specifically for gamers. This browser includes tons of unique features like CPU, RAM, and network limiters to help you get the most out of both gaming and browsing. And one of the coolest things now is that this is now available for mobile, Opera GX Mobile. Make sure you guys take a look at it and check it out because it is absolutely amazing. GX Mobile has tons of cool feature that Opera GX has itself. Now, I've been using Opera GX for a very long time, since the first time we've worked together, and I haven't stopped since. There's just tons of cool things that you can use, such as the GX control. This will help enhance your performance on your PC when gaming, when your browser's open, and getting rid of that unnecessary lag while playing games and listening to music. This is perfect when you want to keep some tabs open and not have to lose them, but you don't want to hurt your performance. There's also the network limiter, which allows you to limit the network bandwidth with network limiter used by the Opera GX browser to gain performance in games and streams. Another cool thing that I really like about Opera is how customizable it is. There's different accents in Opera GX that are inspired by neon lights and how they break the darkness of the night. You can actually customize this to your own theme, wallpaper, or colors itself. It is absolutely fantastic, and I love having it nice and green. Now, if you're already on something like Google Chrome and you're worried that you won't have your extensions, you don't even need to worry about that. In addition, Opera also has an extension store, and Google Chrome extensions are compatible with Opera browsers. You can quickly go to the Chrome web store and install any extension you want and use it on Opera. So realistically, you're just upgrading without missing anything. So I highly encourage you guys to download Opera GX and join me. This has been amazing ever since I've been using it. The link will be in the description, or you can scan the QR code on screen right now. And a big thank you to Opera GX. They have been absolutely amazing, and I love using their web browser, and I highly recommend that you guys check them out as well. So again, a big thank you to Opera GX. I'm sure you guys heard about them in our last video, and you heard about them one more time. They've been super great. As you guys know, sponsorships help out the channel so much, so I'm very thankful for that. All right, let's jump on into this. Is the new chapter going to be licensed or original? Well, there's no official confirmation on anyone's side on if this is going to be original or licensed, but I have a very sneaky suspicion that it could be a licensed chapter. Now, this is purely speculation, and here is why I think so. If you guys recall, on my birthday, I did a Matthew Cote interview. This is the yearly interview that we did every year, and I was co-hosting with Polyester, and it was a lot of fun. Now, during this, I asked him if we were going to be getting a licensed chapter for the rest of the year. At first, he didn't really know the timeline of things, and that's understandable because Matthew Cote, as he puts it, lives in the future. He does so much deals and gets so much content out there for the game. You know, even when we congratulated him on the PUBG collaboration, he figured that that already happened and it was such a long time ago. But again, as he said, he lives in the future. So potentially he could be working on a deal right now in 2024, you know? So essentially, when I asked him this question, he didn't really know if we were going to be getting any more licensed content for the year, that being 2022. And this interview was in October, meaning the next chapter would have been licensed. He said that he is not too sure about it, but in the year to come for Dead by Daylight itself, all the way to June, that is, we're definitely going to be getting more licensed content. So he wasn't too sure about it, and then he kind of just passed the question, and then I asked him, are we going to be getting any, you know, licensed content for the next year? And he said, yes, 100%. So that right there in itself is quite interesting. Now, licensed content can range from anything. That could just be a skin, like the Resident Evil skins that we received in the game, just being, you know, Ada Wong sweater or Rebecca sweater, or it could be the big potential of a chapter. Now, I'm going to bank that this is a chapter because that's more of what I was referring to rather than just a little cosmetic for a character. And judging by how unsure he was if it was coming out in the year 2022, but so confident that it was coming out in year 2023, I don't think he was referring to the next chapter after that, which would be in June, but more so referring to the next chapter. Now, this is just me kind of nitpicking at everything and trying to figure out what potentially could come into the game, but I do believe that the next chapter could potentially be licensed for this fact. Now, again, this is just going off of what he said, but I really have a gut feeling that this chapter potentially will be licensed. So if that is correct, and I am right in my presumption, what chapter are we going to see? Now, obviously, we have heard a lot about different chapters. There's been so much rumors, speculations, theories. This is just the ongoing thing that happens every year. And there's always essentially a flavor of the week, a flavor of the month. You know, last few years it was Candyman, before that we had Jason, FNAF, etc. Now, we've done surveys, we've did polls, and we heard what you guys want the most. Some of those things being a Stranger Things chapter, Jason coming into DBD. But I feel like if those chapters were to come out, they would 100% be an anniversary chapter. It's just a little bit too monumental, in my opinion, to just keep it as a regular chapter that'll just be passing by. Think about it as Sadako, for example. While she is a little bit more mainstream, she's not at the level as someone as Myers or Freddy or anyone to that caliber, right? She's a little bit less in the eye of the audience, and especially with the take that they went with Yoichi, which is a completely original character, just aged up from the story, etc. You know, it's not exactly the one-on-one is what I'm trying to say. With that being said, if that was our anniversary chapter, I think a lot of people would have been disappointed, and that's more so why they went with an original chapter. And we kind of seen it like, hey, if this is going to be the chapter, you guys would be disappointed. So we're giving you guys this earlier, and then we're making our own original creation. So that way we could have been like, all right, that makes sense. At least that's my theory for everything. With all of that being said, I feel as if the next chapter we're going to get is going to be licensed, but not as monumental as some of the things that we've really hoped for. In my books, I can see something like Alien happening. I can see something like Chucky potentially happening, even though they said that it won't probably happen. But the smaller licensed names, essentially, that are still iconic and still will fit in the quote-unquote Hall of Fame of killers, but it won't necessarily be so mainstream and so huge that they're gonna just put it off as a regular chapter. So in my eyes, I would rule out a Stranger Things return for the chapter. I would rule out Jason coming into the game. If there ever was potentially FNAF coming into the game, I would rule it out as well. I just think it's too monumental to be included in a regular everyday chapter. So with that being said, I can potentially see something like Alien, Candyman, Carrie, Scooby-Doo, the Babadook, The Exorcist, The Nun, things like that happening. Something that wouldn't necessarily be the biggest chapter ever that they really want to hype up and really get the community going for, but something that can sign and sit back, still make some good sales, and people will be like, yeah, this is interesting, I'll give it a shot. But ladies and gentlemen, that is my theory on everything. I know it's not really rooted in too much and there's no concrete evidence or anything, but I do believe that it could be licensed, and there's not really much clues when it comes down to licensed chapters coming into the game until it's speculation time, when all of the little Easter eggs and teasers are thrown out to us. So with that being said, it is a little bit of a shot in the dark on what chapter could come licensing. All in all, you guys heard my opinion. I feel like the next chapter will be licensed. It won't be as major as some of the things that we've expected, and the major stuff will be saved for the anniversary event, which means we will probably be getting back-to-back licensed DLCs, at least in mind. But I would love to hear what you guys think about all of this. Do you think that the next chapter is going to be licensed or not? Let me know what you think down below. If it is original, there are tons and tons of things. The possibilities are literally endless what they could bring into the game. Obviously, we received a Knight last time. You never know what we could receive next time. We'll just have to wait and see. But with that being said, I've been your host, The King. As always, I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog. Take care.